guys, it's Ahmer here. So here we are back with another update video in my series where I take you guys along with me on my collecting journey of trying to go for that full set of Super Nintendo games. So this week we have another 6 games adding to the set, and I can't wait to share these ones with you guys. So let's go ahead and check them out. So right here, I actually have this list that I kind of go through. This has all like 721 games or so in it. And last week we left off with about 305 games added into the collection already. So these are loose games, and of course I find deals on some box games along the way. So as we have this like list right here of all of the highlighted games that I already have, there's still quite a bit that I don't have in my collection. So I just can't wait to add even more, and I scored some pretty fun ones as well. So if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so that you never miss out on any upcoming videos. So before we jump into all of the Super Nintendo games that I scored, I actually picked up this Virtual Boy game. This is Vertical Force. So this is a fantastic and addictive shoot 'em up style game that was featured on the Virtual Boy. So you pretty much like play between this like foreground and background effect, and this is really a lot of fun on the Nintendo Virtual Boy. So this is a system that just does not get enough love these days, and this game progressively gets even more difficult. I love the decent power-up weapons, this shoot 'em up style. It's just really a fantastic time, and I can't believe that I scored it along with all of these Super Nintendo games, and I got it for a really great deal. So this one was definitely one that I needed on my Virtual Boy set. So this game right here, I actually stumbled upon when I was out and about game hunting with Mr. Rightway. So make sure you guys go ahead and check out his video on his entire collecting journey when he actually came to my neck of the woods, and we had such a blast. So this game right here is called Super Slam Dunk on the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. This one is the only game that's in the series itself. It's a very early 16-bit style game. It doesn't really have the speed. It has kind of like this terrible AI effect to it. And I just wasn't really a fan of like the screen flipping. So those like camera views that you see when you're going through like half court, it's not really that enjoyable, but this was a filler title that I wanted to give a fair shot at. So do you guys remember this game from back in the day? Is this one that you guys spent hours playing, or is this one that you just passed over? Next up, we have Supernova on the Super Nintendo. This one is a very fun shoot 'em up style game. It's not like that intense kind of like quick action paced, but it is really enjoyable, and it's a pretty good solid title. So this does have these like checkpoints as you're going around. This is a pretty fun shoot 'em up where you have like these upgrades, and you get to upgrade both of the bombs and the weapons as you're kind of moving around. So this one is definitely an enjoyable one. It's not super expensive, but this is one that my game store actually just got in the day that I went there. So this was definitely a fun one to go ahead and get, as I had not seen it before. And then on to some driving action. We have this Redline F1 Racer game. So this one is another inexpensive game, but this is pretty awesome as it has like 18 different courses, and you could pretty much like race and go against like these 16 different world champions. So it's actually a lot of fun as it kind of has like a lot jam-packed into it, and the weather affects the course, so you definitely have to check that beforehand. It has like a lot of little odds and ends in this game, so I'm definitely enjoying it so far. Now, it's not like a tier 1 racing game, but still, it's a pretty inexpensive one that I had to give a try to. And then up next, we actually have this tennis game. This is International Tennis Tour. So this one was another inexpensive game that I also needed. So this is pretty much like your simple, basic tennis game. You pretty much go from the worst to the best tennis player in the world singles tournament. And it does have like these password saves. you know, you pretty much practice, you have the exhibition, even career mode. Money pretty much drives this as well. So that kind of is like your motivating factor as you're going through this game. And then you can even play doubles with a second player. So this one is just another one of those like tennis style games. Definitely does not compare to the Mario Tennis games, but still this one is a cheap, inexpensive sports game. Up next, we actually have this racing title. So here we have this like Kawasaki Caribbean Challenge. So this one actually has like 2 different modes to it as you're racing around. So it's actually pretty fun. It's like this overhead style racing where you have this motorcycle, you even have like this jet ski racing, and there are like 3 different islands, and there's like 6 different tracks. So it is pretty much like this difficult to like maneuver over and under steering, and they could have developed it a little bit more. Maybe if they would have just focused in on either the motorcycles or the jet skis, because if you kind of like oversteer or understeer, you're kind of like over correcting as you go, and it just makes it a little bit difficult to control. But I can see what they were trying for this game here, where you have the 2 different styles of like racing jam-packed in one. But I felt like this was just a simplistic game, and maybe they should have added more islands or more tracks, as it is a very short game. So pretty much you go through as either the motorcycle or as either the jet ski on each of those tracks, each of the islands. So it does have a little bit more to it, but still it could have been so much better. And then this last game that I got to add, this one right here is Michael Andretti's. We have this Indy Car challenge. So this one is pretty much your arcade style racing game with 16 races, as opposed to the previous game which had way less. We have the single player mode, even 2-player. You're kind of going through the USA and Australia. This like championship, practice, versus, you know, you get to customize each vehicle before the race, which really helps out as you're going through and playing this game. So pretty much a lot of these games here are kind of those simplistic titles that maybe a lot of people used to play back in the day if they didn't have like any other options. But now, as we know that there are so many other great titles on this system, I'm sure a lot of people choose those racing and sports games over these ones, as a lot of these didn't really continue in the series. So, do you guys like any of these games? Do you remember any from back in the day? What about that shoot 'em up game on the Virtual Boy, or even on the Super Nintendo? Those would probably have to be my favorites in the bunch here, and I'm just super thrilled to add 6 more games, so now we move it from 305 to 311. So I can't wait to see what I pick up in the upcoming weeks. And of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out my other videos and stay tuned for more.